Hello, my beautiful souls. The Awakened Dreamer here to give you your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 7th of September, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. Do keep in mind this is general, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And it's also for all 12 signs if you're new to these daily readings. But we're going to begin and pull from the wisdom of the Oracle deck and see how this day is going to turn out. I do feel like for the majority drawn to this reading, there's a vibe about the day where you just feel the need for things to be neat, organized, in place. You may find that there's moments where you just want to perfect something, okay? But it's going to benefit you to find some balance within that, okay? Don't be too overly controlling in that sense, okay? Don't overdo it. For Wednesday, I almost said Tuesday. You might feel like the days just Tuesday and Wednesday kind of blend together to an extent or feel similar to an extent. But I do sense that it's a day where you're thinking a lot, right? Naturally with the thinking card or the thinker card. The stars are aligning is now what I'm hearing, and it's a day that reminds you of just that, as the number 44 feels quite relevant for the day. But I do sense that you're wanting things to be perfect again. I feel like that's coming up for a second time for a reason. A level of perfection desired in a living situation or in a work situation. It could be more than one for you. It could be when it comes to a connection. I feel like those looking for somebody to connect with in that sense, or even friends, want sort of a perfect connection or something more ideal than you once dealt with. Does that make sense? And you're totally correct, or just going to be validated for feeling that way in one way, shape, or form, even if that's through the eyes of spirit or the synchronicities of spirit. But I do sense that you're just thinking about what you desire in more than one way, okay? Okay, fork in the road coming out, and I'm not going to take it for the table, but I do feel like it's the sense that you have choices, okay? It's coming up as very much a Seven of Wands or a Seven of Cups kind of vibe, where you have a lot of choices when it comes to the love you're looking to acquire, the relationship, or the friends you're looking to acquire. Again, it could be more than one of what we're talking about, or when it comes to acquiring another job or a job in general, or a new investment in one way, shape, or form. Some of you, housing is what I'm hearing. But I just feel like you're being pushed to solidify in one's mind exactly what you would put up with or what you would accept, okay? And it doesn't have to be, say, just for an example, say it's a specific somebody. It doesn't need to be you'd only accept this one specific type of person. It could be, well, I'll accept, these types of people, okay? But I feel like in the previous days, in one way, shape, or form, whatever category or categories this is for you, you were meant to sort of become more one with or back in touch with what you wouldn't have put up with, or what you wouldn't put up with these days moving forward, or what just isn't going to work for you. So now let's reiterate in one's mind, or just figure out what you do actually want, okay? Okay, Observer coming into play. This card loves to come out in the daily readings, but I do feel like it's a day where you're thinking, observing, and less outspoken, potentially in comparison to usual. But I do feel like what you observe is key. You're going to hear spirit loud and clear through synchronicities, through moments where you're pushed to turn your head and look at something specific, whatever it is for you, whether it's just specifically random or there is an actual message for you from spirit. Trust that. I feel like some of which will be observing, reflecting upon your dreams from the previous night or previous nights, and trying to see in one's mind if there was an actual message for you or if it was just simply random. Because sometimes spirit will give you a dream to remember, but it doesn't actually have a full or any meaning at all for you, or message rather, okay? I'm hearing they just like to have fun, but I do sense that it's a day where you're feeling the need to clean up, okay, once again. But also be advised through this reading I hope that was good wording, to clean up one's mind if you feel your thinking process isn't as productive as it needs to be, or you're overdoing it. Just because you're getting the push from spirit and the universe to think doesn't mean it should be overdone and overcomplicated. Okay. You know what you desire at this time if you look within in a simplistic manner. Meditation might help, but also you just have a better sense of what's right and wrong for you at this point along your path. And this day will remind you of just that. But look at the coloring of all three images. I feel I need to point out things feel very much a little bit of lack of color, or just at least towards the end of the day. Or you may feel as if things just need a sense of grounding. Okay, you may feel very connected to the earth, to nature, to Mother Nature, or feel the need to be more so. Okay, keep your eye on the sky is what I'm hearing, and keep your eye on the prize, but don't do so in an unsuccessful, unproductive manner. But I do feel like in a colorful manner, there's a level of success for your business, your project, your job, or even just connecting with somebody. But I feel like for the majority of you, it feels career oriented, okay? And you're seeing things pan out for you. You're seeing certain changes potentially made recently or are making do you some justice. Now let's pull from the Light Seers deck. Where is it? Let's do some shuffling. Staying in your zone is going to help you, but I also almost wanted to say staying in your lane, okay? Not overly associating oneself with other people's concerns, issues, even if you're helping nature feels quite relevant these days. Okay, for this Wednesday to continue, we have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, so the vibe that's coming through with this is being put on the Thinker card and the Observer card, kind of sitting back on your throne and being pushed, a very relaxed way of being, even though you do feel the need to perfect and get things done and clean up all the meanwhile. But it just feels like you're, okay, you're manifesting, all right? And in the midst of that manifestation process, you're being pushed to just see things clearly, okay? However that works out for you. And I do feel like an animal could come into play throughout this day as a work of spirit or just a sense of comfort, or both. But I do feel like your connection to spirit is highlighted at one point, if not multiple points throughout this day. And I do sense that you're being reminded that, and this seems to be a consistent reminder in these readings, but it's coming out for a reason. You're thinking a lot throughout this day, so do remember that what you think will be manifested if you believe it to the furthest extent and even potentially work towards it. But I do feel like you're, or even if you just think it, okay? Because for some who are manifesting like crazy these days, you don't even necessarily need to fully put that effort towards it, right? Physically. Sometimes you can just manifest it by thinking it. But anyways, I do feel like you're also thinking about your appearance, your clothing, body figure, hair, stuff of that nature. You could be thinking about changing something up. I also feel like knowledge is coming into play, and home decor is taking a focus to an extent, as I'm drawn to the bookcases in the back. We also have the Eight of Cups. And so I feel like you're going to be pushed to, at a certain point, walk away from a situation that doesn't feel the healthiest, or you're thinking back to when you had to make a decision to benefit you, okay? And I really do sense that you're longing for more, okay? Even after leaving towards more. Does that make sense? Or you're being pushed to recognize that you deserve more than you've dealt with up until this point. But if you take a moment and observe and look at your surroundings, things are much better than they once were, even if there's room for a lot of improvement, perfecting, or just replacing in one way, shape, or form. I do sense that through social media posts and other, even TV shows, movies, you're going to be thinking about purposely where you're meant to travel, where you would like to travel, sparking that thought within your mind or reminding you of which is necessary at this point. I'm hearing the color red is of relevance, needing you to feel passionate about the lifestyle you're living, and traveling can definitely add to that. Okay, somebody who recently traveled won't give off that vibe, but I do feel like you're meant to remember that you are different from those who would wrap oneself up with something similar. Okay, I just feel like it's a day where you're advised to move at a slow and comfortable pace, even if you have a lot to accomplish, and even if your mind or the feeling in the air pushes you to move a bit quicker at times. Check oneself and just slow it down so you feel more comfortable and are able to methodically move forward and even prioritize productively. All right. But it's a day where you're receiving certain levels of abundance. And we did mention the Seven of Wands in the beginning, but I do feel like you're receiving abundance in more than one form throughout this day, but it's important for you to observe it and realize it and just notice its value coming into your situation in the form of knowledge, clarity, conclusions, realizations, and even for some of you, growth for your business or your project or even job success. But I do feel like you're also thinking about money leaving your situation from what you're spending money on. But I do feel like what you feel or what you hear you're meant to purchase is purposeful. You may even hear that you're meant to just trust that your money is going to be successful moving forward, regardless of how much you have incoming at this time. Opportunities are meant to just be there for you when you need it the most or when it's just most fitting for you. Don't settle for an opportunity to make money moving forward, especially for those entrepreneurs drawn to the reading, that it's going to make you feel like you're altering the look or the brand or something, your business basically, in the wrong direction. Okay. Your image is important, and I feel like that goes for your business, for what job you take on or keep in your life, and also again when it comes to self-care and just how you take care of oneself. That's going to take a focus throughout the day as you do implement some self-care, and just perfect your looks a little bit. Okay, it's a day where people are viewing you as good looking even if they're not seeing you firsthand or even on social media. But I do feel like your looks, your attraction is visible to those in one way, shape, or form throughout this day. So allow for yourself to observe oneself in the highest light so that people will continue to do so or start to do so even more. Okay? So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you next time.